Hello and welcome back. This is video number 4 in a series where I'm showing you how to build a character rig for Flash cutout animation. Here I'm using Flash Professional CS6, however this is unimportant and you can use any version of Flash or Animate. It's important to note that this is not a tutorial on how to use Flash, it's just a tutorial on how to build your character rigs. So if you find it difficult to follow me during this presentation, that means that you need to go back and learn how to use the program. Now let's move on and start adding content in the empty symbols which we created during the previous tutorial. So we have all these symbols, properly registered circles, like this one for example. We have a bunch of circles and this is the neck. We will now start entering each one of these containers and filling them with content by cleaning up our initial sketch. I've put a bunch of colors here. This will be my palette for the rabbit, although when I finish I might make some adjustments to these colors. So I'll just start with the torso. I'll unlock this torso layer. I'll go inside the torso symbol. You can see here we have these circles. Now I have a command that names this layer circle, so I'll press Ctrl plus F12 and the layer name will change. I'll lock it, create a new layer, then color pick the color which I would like to use as my main color, and with the rectangle tool I'll draw a box. I'll go in outline mode and we'll modify this box, switching on and off the snapping. I need to tangent this box in a way so that it touches the circle, and I will follow the shape of the body. This will obviously be a very long tutorial, and at some stage I'm pretty sure that I'll have to speed it up to not bore all the viewers to death. But for now I'll just keep going at real-time speed, switching snapping on and off till you get a good idea of what I'm doing. So I'll call this dark and I'll add another layer underneath. It doesn't really matter at this stage what color I'm using, so no outlines. I'm tangenting. I'm definitely working when I clean up. I try to follow the outer edge of my hand-drawn lines, not the inner side of them. Okay, now I'll go to full preview mode and color pick this lighter color. Okay, now something important with the circles. This smaller circle will be this color, and this other circle will have to be 2 colors. Doesn't really matter which one I color pick, I'll color pick this one. Now I'll get rid of the outlines, and this is important pay good attention to what I do now. I'll double click this, choose the lasso tool, grab this part, this lasso, and select through the center just like this, and use the darker color. Okay, so now we have a circle that's part the lighter color and part the darker color. Let's call this orange and let's call this cream. It's very important to remember this step. I'll probably go back to it, but I'm working on the joint of the neck where we have these two colors so that the joint works and the colors don't reveal that it's a cutout. I'll do a little bit of decoration without being too detailed about it. We can always go back and edit. Anyway, just a few of those little extra hairs. We will probably go back and see if more work needs to be done on this later. At this stage, this should be enough. I'll name this layer light, and I'll name this layer detail. Okay, now I have a second view, so I can always check what's visible and how my character progresses. This second view shows us the main timeline, and the drawing, the rough drawing, is on a guided layer, so we don't see this one. I'll go to the neck layer and I'll enter the neck symbol. Now, before I do this, I'll switch to outline mode for this one. Now I'll enter the neck symbol. I'll name these circle and change the colors so that I know which is which. Now this lower one I will also guide because we won't need to see it. It's only here to guide us. And I will do the light color. Okay, now switching the magnet on and off, I need to tangent very carefully these circles to make sure that my shapes snap and perfectly align with the circle so that they look as if they're just one and the same shape, just like this. And then I'll have another layer with the darker color, and I'll do just the same here and here. I just magnetically snaps, so it's fairly easy to do it. Just like this. This is on top. There's a little bit of an intersection. Now I'm a little undecided how to treat this area at the moment, but let's do something like this, and that should be enough. Now this circle, I'll color pick the darker color and I'll just remove the outlines. Okay, so if we go out and hide all these other layers for a moment and only leave the torso and the neck I can show you how already this joint is working quite well. So see, it goes this way and it goes this other way without too much revealing that it's a cutout joint. We might need to do some more improvements, but I'll leave that for later. Now very quickly I'll just rough out some placeholder stuff inside the head symbol, just so that we have something in there to mark the volume. We'll deal with the head more or less in a separate dedicated video, because there's a lot going on in a head, and for now we only need to make sure that there's something here. I think that's enough. Looks like a head enough for our purposes at this stage. Now we can check what we've done so far. I will have to guide this circle as well. It's only here to tell us where the circle in the neck is. So I'm guiding this one. We don't really need to see it, we just need to know where it is. So this means that if we have a visible circle, just as is the case here, we have the circles in the body, in the torso part. We don't really need to have the circle visible in the neck. So the circle here is only a guide that guides us where these elements should go, and that's all. We don't repeat the circles. These elements just follow the trajectory of the circles, and that's why the joints don't break. All right, let's start with the legs. Leg number 1. So that would be, these are our 2 circles. Change the color of one of them, lock them, and get the box. Choose this color with magnet on. Make the shape tangent the circles, and then match the outer side of my freehand sketch as much as possible. Then both of these circles should be this color, and I'll get rid of the outlines. So this is the shape of our upper leg, which consists of 2 circles. The registration of the leg is in the center of the hip joint, and then the registration of the next body part will be in the knee. So I'll just move to the lower leg and repeat. I'll call these circles. Now this one, the larger one, I'll actually guide this one because we don't need it. We'll have the circle in the upper leg visible, and we'll only have visible the lower circle which marks the ankle. Okay, I'll draw the box and connect it with the circles, repeating the line just like this and just like this. I'll make this circle visible and I'll color pick this and remove the outline. Now if we go out and look at this joint, if we look at just this, you will see, okay, so it looks like this. The centers of those circles overlap, so if I bend this, if I rotate this element, it will be just the knee bending and it will function properly. I'll undo and go back here and do something with the foot. I'll name this circle, create a new layer. We won't need this one visible, and I haven't really decided on the color of this. For now I'll just use the lighter color. Okay, just like this and like this. I may need to do some more work on the shape, but you're getting the idea. Designing and cleaning up is a fiddly process, so it's not very exciting to watch someone do it on a video. It takes time. Sometimes you go back and forth. Anyway, for now, I'll just consider this shape decent. Let me just pick some color just to mark the toes. So I'll use the paintbrush at this stage. This stuff needs proper attention. I'm feeling a little bit under pressure because I'm recording. I might need to go back and redo these for the final version. Anyway, I'll just cut them and leave them like this, at least for now, so that you get the idea and I don't waste too much time. I'll call these toes and we can look at what we have by now. Okay, we're progressing quite well. I've sped this section up because it's already gotten so incredibly long. What we do here is just repeating what we did with the leg, entering the arm symbols one after the other, joining the circles and guiding one of them. And here I'm just drawing the palm and the fingers. It's all pretty rough at this stage. I might need to be refining it a little later. And the last bit that we need to do is the tail. And I was again attempting to do a very quick job with the fluff. It didn't go too well, so I'll have to polish that bit. Okay, let me just try to do one and only one thing now. I'll hide the drawing and I will just try to darken the arm just to make it readable somehow. This is kind of tricky. Probably just have to start just here. Okay, so we're now in full preview mode and I'll choose this and go, okay, I'll go radial. I will double click here and color pick this color twice and then choose a slightly darker version of it and then apply it here and go something like this. Now what I want to do is have the shoulder being the same color as the main color of the body, but by the time we reach the end of this shape the color should have changed. And then if I do this and I see this other circle, I'll color pick the second color, so the circle is the second color. Now you can see the transition happens gradually and the lower bit is the darker color, and now I have to go to the lower arm and make the lower arm, all the elements of the lower arm, this darker color. Let's see if we can, we probably can't do that. No, we can do it like this. Okay. Now we can see the arm and we can see the leg. Maybe I should repeat the same color change in the leg, and I will need to add some detail on the hand and so on and so on. But before I do this, I will switch my drawing on and I will duplicate my leg and my arm. Okay, so now I'll copy the leg frames, Ctrl-Alt-C, and I'll just paste them here, Ctrl-Alt-V. I'll lock everything else except for these and move the leg so that we have a second leg. Then I'll unlock the arm layers, I'll copy the frames and I'll just paste them here. I'll lock everything else and move them just somewhere here so that we have the other arm. Let me again lock these layers and I'll just apply a little bit of darkness to these, say -6, just so that they're just a little darker to get some definition there. The next thing that I need to do is select all these symbols and stop them. Now they have to be single frame. I'll choose single frame, and at this stage I will consider this video complete. Off screen I'll do some little improvements to the individual elements, and in the next video we'll continue with the head. Okay, thanks for your patience and I'll see you in video number 5.